All right. Get this one in. Let's see. Okay. Get this right here. Perfect. Okay. Reconnected. All right. Good. Okay. Let us get this done. See. All right. Got one. Boom. Okay. Tripod working. Extended. Okay. There we go. Boom. Okay. All right. I'm in here, you guys. My apologies. This is here nice. Okay. Let's see where I'm at. On here. Okay. All right. How you guys doing today? Great afternoon, everyone. I am going to be, let's see if we can get this, make sure I got this right. Okay. Stream's on. Okay. Cool. Oh, no. Boom. Okay. All right. Now we got it. Okay, y'all. Good afternoon, everybody. And make sure you guys can catch up to me today. Let me see. Put on this right here. Okay. We drop it down just a little bit. Let's see. How is this working out? That looks pretty good. Okay, cool. Boom. All right. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about survival versus creation. And I'm going to actually speak to you guys about something particular about survival and creation, talking about a survival diet versus a creation diet. Now, this is going to be information for you guys to govern your way of eating. Because the simple fact of the matter is you are what you eat, literally. Because what you eat and what you consume becomes a part of you. Now, if you understand what you eat and what you consume becomes a part of you, whenever you eat food, you can eat survival food or you can eat creation food. There's two types. So let's talk about survival food. What is survival food? This is acidic forming. Acidic forming food are survival foods. When I say survival foods, I don't mean foods that you eat to sustain your survival. I don't mean foods that you eat that enhance your survival. I mean foods that you eat that put you in a state of survival. That's what I'm talking about. So, for instance, and we'll get to this where we talk, actually, what I'll break down first is survival and creation. Survival and creation individually is based upon the concept of the ANS system, which is the autonomic nervous system. Now, your autonomic nervous system, which is your automatic nervous system, your automatic nervous system, what it does for you is it governs your behaviors behind the scenes. It governs things like your heart rate, like your blood sugar, like your blood pressure, like your breathing, like sneezing, coughing, anything that you do behind the scenes that is an automatic process is governed by your autonomic nervous system. So, all diseases are actually autoimmune that stem from too much usage of the autonomic nervous system on one side or the other. What does that mean? That means you have two sides. On the survival side, you have what's called sympathetic nervous system. Your sympathetic nervous system on the survival side, this is what you call fight or flight mode. So I'll just attach this right here where I say fight or flight. This is the side of the system that is sympathetic that puts you in a state of distress. Distress. Okay? There's two types of stress. There is eustress, there is distress. Distress is the one that causes you to psych yourself out, makes you live in fear, makes you panic, makes you run from something. It makes you go outside of yourself instead of going within yourself. And so what happens then is if you go to a state of parasympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic is called rest and digest. I want you to understand this. Digestion takes the most energy of any process in your body. Digestion. Because it takes a long process for you to consume something and generate energy from that something. When you're in parasympathetic nervous system, you are relaxed, you are coherent. And what that means is that your body can now take care of you and do processes that you needed to do in order to heal you. So, simply, this is based upon your visceral organs. Your visceral organs. We'll do this, I'll add this right here. So I'll say visceral organs. And I'll put energized and parasympathetic, and I'll put de-energized and sympathetic. What does that mean? That means that your visceral organs, which are basically all of the organs that are located in this area here, in this central line area here. These are your visceral organs. What happens whenever all your energy leaves your visceral organs is you now no longer have any energy for the processes that your body needs in terms of immune system, in terms of digestion, in terms of keeping you healthy. There's no circulation because all of your blood and plasma and your energy, your oxygen, your breathing changes, your pupils dilate. Everything changes for you simply because you are in a state of panic and flight. Once you can get back to this state of rest and digest, the main thing I can tell you that changes is your appetite. Okay? Now you have acidic forming foods on one side. These foods are survival foods. Now what that means again is foods that de-energize you. Processed foods, for one. Highly processed foods. And I'm not just talking about things that are put in cans or put inside boxes. I'm talking about things that are actually processed in ways of frying, baking, even boiling, and even things that you combine with other ingredients. So, synthesized. There's different ways to process food. But mainly, I suggest you stay away from frying. Baking is not all bad, boiling is not all bad. Synthesizing things with other things and mixing things is not all bad. But frying your food essentially is just not the best thing because of the fact that you have different ingredients. Also, I'll put processed sugars. Natural sugars are excellent for you. Natural sugars that come from things like fruits, they're excellent for your body because your body knows exactly what to do with them, where this energy needs to go, and how it's going to work within your system. Processed sugar is a drug, essentially, and that drug is going to de energize you not only, but also is going to make you sick. So, processed foods, I'll put pharmaceutical drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, because these things are signals, and these signals are not meant to heal you. These signals are actually meant to keep you in the state that you're already in and mask the symptom that you're experiencing. But the symptoms that you're experiencing, you need to experience them. And let me tell you something about this process too. You need to experience the symptoms that you're in because if you don't experience the symptoms that you're in, you won't actually know how to read the gauges on your energy dashboard. Okay? When you have high blood pressure, clearly that is an example of you being angry. When you have, let's say, low vitality, low energy, your sexual energy is not flowing from the genital area, your root chakra, your sacral chakra, all the way up to your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, third eye, and crown, so on. You're not able to feel grounded within yourself. So, pharmaceutical drugs is also acidic forming. And not only that, meats and dairy foods. Now, listen, you'll have people argue about keto diets and vegetarian diets, and maybe you can eat fish, and also maybe you can consume cow's milk. And okay, listen, here comes the spiritual place that you need to understand. Every ancient text, at least the ones that are in the Western world, will tell you that all of your meat is supposed to come from the fruits. All of your medicines are supposed to come from your herbs. Your herbs are your medicine. Your fruits, mainly your fruits, are the sustenance that you need in order to build your energy storage. When you see both of these on a list of somebody's food pyramid, like what they give you in school, meat and dairy, they usually put that somewhere close to the bottom. And now they're moving it up, and they have this historical change. They shifted. It's called my plate, and what they're doing is they're telling you that this is much amount of food in this category is good for you. This category is good for you. If you have this much amount of food in this category is good for you. But I'm telling you, is none of it's good for you. All of it is bad. I'm 42 years old. I've been plant-based for the last 8 years. I love it. I'm never going back to anything other than this. The reason being is because you have a heightened sense of energy, a heightened sense of awareness around you. All of your issues go away. They stop. Literally, they stop. They cease to exist solely because of the energy that you've changed is now forming alkalinity instead of acid. I used to eat barbecue. Every Sunday I would grill for my roommates and my friends, and waking up the next day was a struggle. I'm not an alcoholic person. I used to consume some every now and then for leisure. Most of the time I was a designated driver, so that's why I never drank much. But when you take things that de-energize you so much, I was gonna add it to the list right now. Alcohol, let's put that on there too. These things de-energize you so much to the point where they shrink your energy field and they place you in survival mode. You can say gluten, foods that have gluten, also seed oils. I'll put chips, any type of chip is not good for you. It's just like taking in a fried mass of feces, because all it is waste material. It burns it to a crisp so much that there's no actual energy inside of it. So I've learned all these things based on experience. Everything that I've gone to take in, I've taken it in just to see how I felt. And all of it has de-energized me so much to the point where I could no longer move forward. It was to the point where acidic forming foods go into your belly, they de-energize you so much that then what happens to you is alarming. Because what happens to you then is your self-esteem is low. Not only that, your discipline is also low. Not only that, but your vision is non-existent. So you can't see your future self. So you can't go towards something because what you put inside your stomach is causing you to block the film strip. Think of your solar plexus as a projector screen with the film strip. Think of your whole body as a projector screen, actually. The projector is going to be through your head and through your eyes. These are actually part of your brain. So you see from your brain. It all comes, the activity comes through your brain. But the film strip is coming through your solar plexus. How you're processing the film strip is coming through your brain. So then what you're seeing out on the screen of space is based upon how you feel. Based upon how you feel. You feel with your gut. So there's two systems. The one down here is called the enteric. The enteric nervous system. Now, this is what you have the gut-brain connection from. It's called the gut-brain axis, vagus nerve that connects along with the gut. When you have these processed foods that you've been consuming, fried foods, baked foods, fast foods. I'll put fast food even though it's not food, but fast food. We'll give them the benefit of the name. That's it. Fast food. Fast food. So any fast food, In-N-Out Burger, Wendy's, McDonald's, Chipotle, doesn't matter where you go. Any fast food that you go out to go eat is going to most likely have, and I'm going to put MSG, monosodium glutamate. They call MSG Chinese restaurant syndrome. That's what they call it. It's an addictive chemical that's placed inside of the food that gets you to want to eat more of it. It's bad. So, all meat, every meat, they can say grass-fed if they want to. Grass-fed, when they put that on a package, can instantly mean I took a pile of grass like this, and I threw it to the cow or the pig or whatever, and I said, here, or the bison, and I said, here, that's grass-fed. As long as they give it a blade of grass, they can say grass-fed, which is crazy to me. There's so many regulations that they don't have, meaning they don't have any regulations on the things that actually mean something to people's health. And they just are able to tell you whatever they want to tell you. This is why I think we should never put Food and Drug Administration together with the USDA, all in the same building. But that's how we do in this country. So the people who make your food also tell you how much of it you need to eat. It's actually the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. But again, We're getting out of it, so be patient. It's working. But these foods obstruct the gut-brain axis. This is because of angstroms of energy. Angstroms. So, because of the amount of angstroms of energy, all of these foods here fall into a category of low angstroms of energy. Meaning, all of these foods are close to zero on the scale, close to zero on the scale of angstroms of energy. Why are angstroms important? Angstroms are the measure of wavelength. You measure, actually your DNA is measured in angstroms of energy. And what angstroms are, is they're measuring the amount of energy that you are emitting from your vessel, from your being. You emit a certain wavelength. The bigger the wave that you emit, the larger the wave that you emit. Now, I mean large. This can be person A. Person A has a alkalized diet. They're energized. They're just doing a great job. Great courage, changing their lifestyle, living a great life. Everything is great. Here's person B. Person B is the opposite. Person B's energy wave is a little smaller. They're getting there. They're trying. They aren't doing a great job right now. Their angstroms of energy are so low, their wavelength is so small that they're not emitting a larger energy wave. And that's because their diet is acidic forming. Acidic forming is also a diet of thought. Negative thoughts produce negative chemical. Negative chemical then come back to produce negative behaviors. Negative behaviors produce negative experiences, which then lead you right back to negative thoughts. It's a cycle. So, acidic forming foods, if you stay up too late at night, usually people eat late, they don't digest their food overnight. From 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. is your gallbladder. This is your seat of your self-esteem. From 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. is your liver. This is your blood purifier. If you're at the club at 1 o'clock in the morning taking a bottle to the head or a glass of alcohol, something that you should not be taking at this moment in time, you should be in bed sleeping so that your liver can detoxify you at this moment in time. You are going towards survival. And now you're going to be in fight or flight. So now the energy in your visceral organs is de-energized. And now you have no energy for your immune system, for your vision, to move towards your goals. You have no energy to do any of this. It's gone. All because you decided that at 1 o'clock in the morning you're going to go get a hamburger or go get a milkshake, dairy, or take a bottle of alcohol, a glass, or order it from the bar. Seed oils, go stop at the 7-Eleven, the gas station, go get some chips, and obviously MSG is in the fast food. Low angstroms of energy. Now on the opposite side, here are foods that are creative. Foods that are creative. And I will always put fruits and I'll put raw. The best thing that you can do for your body is to give it some raw fruit. Because when you give your body some raw fruit, fruits have the highest amount of angstroms of energy. It's in the 8 to 12,000 range of angstroms of energy. This is person A. Person A is the one that eats this diet. Person B is the one that eats the opposite. So foods that are creative are also alkaline, alkaline forming. Alkaline forming are these foods. Now, I'll give you an example. When you used to have a Walkman or a portable CD player or even a stereo system, you had to power it with batteries. You would go to the grocery store and you would literally go find some batteries. The batteries on the pack would say alkaline battery. Maybe they were AA or AAA or D battery, but they would say alkaline battery because that alkaline battery is the energy. That is something simple for you to understand. You go to the grocery store, go get a pack of batteries. They do not say acid battery. It's an alkaline battery. If it's an acid battery, that battery is burnt out and that battery is destroyed. The battery has no energy inside of it. So, raw fruits are the first thing, the first food that I suggest you take in if you're attempting to power up your body and go into a creation diet. The next thing is vegetables. Vegetables. And that is also raw. You can say raw vegetables and fruits because fruits are the cleansers of your body. Fruits cleanse your body. Vegetables now build. Builders. You've heard the protein myth that people talk about. Protein. You need protein. In order to build muscle, in order to get some muscle, you got to get some protein. First of all, you got to get some carbs. Doesn't do with protein. Everything to do with carbs. You need simple carbs, not complex carbs. Simple carbs are going to help you build the most muscle. Simple carbs will actually power you through your workout. Are carbohydrates. It's not protein. So, when you have vegetables, which again, all protein comes from plants, most people just think to go eat the cow or go eat the pig. It's just programming. It's just that you've been told to do this over and over again, and that's why you just continuously went to do the same process over and over again. You never thought anything different. That is why you keep doing it. It's a subconscious thing. You subconsciously continue to sabotage your own self. That is it. Raw fruits, raw vegetables, and I'll put slightly cooked. Slightly cooked. Because you can slightly cook your fruits. Slightly cooked fruits. Which would be things like quinoa, tricolored quinoa, some grains. I'll put nuts, seeds. These are healthy fats. These things are very good for you to eat and consume as well. You don't need a lot of these nuts and seeds because this fat content is very, very concentrated. You also don't need too many cooked fruits and vegetables. I actually only consume one meal a day. I'm 190 pounds, about 5% body fat. If anybody wants to test my ab theory, I'm fine in terms of the structure of my body. I'm pretty healthy, I like to say. And most of this is just due to the simple fact I focus so much intentionally on the fuel I put inside of my body. That is what it is about. It does not mean I go chase a protein shake. I take creatine because, first of all, like I said, carbohydrates build muscle. So carbohydrates build your muscle. You must understand that by you taking in simple carbohydrates build muscle. Things like sweet potatoes, even slightly cooked sweet potatoes, even baked potato. Those things are really good for you. Put on some muscle. Squashes, tomatoes, cucumbers, grapes, berries, watermelon. I love watermelon, But these things, mangoes also, things that are very, very energizing and energetic and electric, form alkalinity inside your body. These are the things that are creative. This is what gets your brain to be free. These things cleanse you. And fiber also is able to move the stools in your body. And let's put another thing, hydration, water. I'll just put water. So hydration is imperative for you to have inside of your body. Once you have the right water, and I'll put this too, negative ORP. Negative ORP means negative oxidation reduction potential. And that's what means antioxidizing water. You don't want to drink distilled water because it has no minerals inside of it. You need to have minerals inside your body. I'm not saying don't ever drink distilled water. If you need to cleanse yourself from something, I understand that distilled water is obviously just pure water by itself. But what I'm saying is you need to have the things that power you up. In order to move the lymph through your body, you need to charge the lymph by movement, by contraction, by compression. If I go to, and let me also put this here, exercise. It's part of the diet. This is alkaline forming. So when you have exercise, complete with these foods that you're eating, what you're doing is you're creating a path from the gut-brain axis through the vagus nerve where the film strip that you're playing is now powered by positivity and by love, unconditional love and gratitude and appreciation, because the food that you're eating was not killed. The food that you're eating did not have to die in order for you to consume them. That's not how it works. Now, vegetables don't actually want you to eat them. Vegetables want you to eat what they produce. They don't want you to consume them abruptly. They want you to produce or to consume what they produce. So when you think about this, you won't just go in to kill the plant to eat the actual plant, because the plant has mechanisms that keep the plant alive. So think about, in the case of fruits, fruits are the end product of what most plants produce, fruits. And so when they get too heavy or too ripe, they fall off of the tree. They just come down to the ground. It's like, here, take this. There's an abundance of this. No one should ever go hungry. But the issue is that many people are programmed to think that they need to eat eggs, or they need to eat dairy, or they need to eat meat. And so their thought process is overtaking something else, overpowering something else. And that's the concept of survival and creation. Because when you're in survival, you're also in competition. But when you're in creation, you're just creating. There is no competition. You don't have any. Because you understand everything is different. You're not looking at everybody else to the left and right of you. You're looking at yourself for what you can produce. And because of that simple fact that you figured out who you are based upon whose you are, all of a sudden, based upon whose you are, you made it a point. You made it a point to figure out that changing your lifestyle is the key in order to maintain a healthy, balanced, harmonious vessel. That's it. Now, it takes some time to understand that once you get to a place where you energize your visceral organs, you eat things that make you feel good, because these foods don't make you feel good. You realize that it's based also upon emotion. So if I have the emotion of self-sabotage, I'm going to drink some alcohol. I'm going to smoke some cigarettes. I'm going to go to eat some chips and some seed oils and some fried foods and some fast foods, because these foods give me no energy. So because subconsciously I'm already in fight or flight mode and I don't love myself enough, I'm going to now do behaviors that verify my lack of love for myself. nobody actually hates anything on the outside. You see, because you do not hate just because you hate. You hate because you are not loved by yourself. If you loved yourself, there would be no room for you to hate anything else. But that's mainly based upon the way someone's brain works. What are you been programmed to believe? If you've been programmed to believe in this world on this side, if you've been programmed to believe that you have to unlock something based on the principle of an exchange, and it's always a transactional behavior. If you live in that concept, you're going to die in that concept. And that's where you have to look at nature doesn't work like that. It charges me nothing, nothing at all, for me to go and get ahead in life. I only have to process the land the way I want to process the land. That's all I gotta do. And if I'm consistent enough, disciplined enough, I think highly of myself, I have so much abundance from myself, I'm literally telling myself I have so much I can give to anyone who needs anything. That's because I'm taking in the food that nature made. This food, pharmaceutical drugs, is not nature made. And I'll put herbs here, because herbs are the healers. So herbs are your medicine. And these are the concepts where if you really realize that your gut-brain axis is going to be enhanced just by what you're fueling your body with. This is like saying I have a hydrogen-powered car or a water-powered car, which do exist. In this lifetime, they do exist. There's a documentary called, I think it's called The Missing Century. Yeah, I think it's called The Missing Century. And I think it's Dr. Stephen Greer. Talks about all the inventions that people have made over the course of the century, through the early 1900s, late 1800s, which have already changed the landscape of how we see energy. So you think of yourself as a hydrogen-powered vessel or vehicle, or a free energy-powered vehicle, because you are a free energy-powered vehicle. If you keep on eating this way, you're always going to have something that's going to need to be burnt and waste that needs to be discarded. So you must raise your consciousness and awareness to realize that you're eating for energy. You're consuming information. Think about it like this. If you go somewhere that you want to go, say you want to move to a different city. I suggest you go to a different city that you want to move to, find a produce store or farmer's market where they have local food that they grow there, that they source there, and eat it. You'll start to see that you will be drawn more to the space of the area that you're actually going towards, because the food providing you the information, literally providing you the information based upon the land. Don't buy into the protein myth. Simple carbohydrates are what you need to build your muscle. Don't buy into pharmaceutical drugs, because herbs are actually what pharmaceutical drugs are not made of, but they're made in the likeness of. They copy the herbs. So the ability of the herbs, is what pharmaceutical drugs are actually made of. They're trying to copy the signals that the herbs give off. But these are natural signals. That's why the herbs heal you, the pharmaceutical drugs can kill you. So based upon your level of thought as well. And if your thought process is positive, your thought process is conducive to growth, you'll see a drastic shift just in the way that your mind is working. You can go from thought to feeling to emotion, from thoughts to feelings to being, to your behavior, because your emotions are actually how you feel. Your gut influences how you feel, 100%. Okay? So, based upon all this, the key for you to do in order to find happiness and harmony inside your life is to change your diet from a survival diet to a creation diet. Just take it from me. I smile every day. I have so much joy in my life because I'm just so free. I'm so free from thinking I have to live a certain type of way. I just told myself that whatever I'm doing in life, I'm doing it for others, to show others. I'm doing it in order to promote the Creator's work through me. So, if you're looking for a detailed cellular cleanse, because no one gets healthy or gets well without cleansing at the cellular level. No one reprograms a lifestyle without erasing and processing the emotions that were trapped inside your body and seeing why you did the things that you did that ended up with you either sick, not healthy, broke, unhappy, single, alone, whatever it is, you were the cause. So we were going to figure out what the cause of your effects are, because there's always an underlying goal behind why you think that way. And you must become what you think about most of the time. So again, if you guys are looking for a one-on-one detox, click on my description below. You guys can sign up for my 12-week or my VIP, more detailed Chakra Billionaire Detox program. It's a 9-month program that gets all 9 of your energy centers and awakens the flow of energy throughout your entire body. You guys can also learn from my Acid to Alkaline Challenge. Click in my description below. You guys can see all of it. Alright? Until next time, love y'all. Thank you for joining me.